But thank you all for just taking the time to join us this morning to get some updates on what SACAC in the state of Mississippi has been doing over the course of the past little bit and is planning to do throughout the rest of the academic school year. We've had a lot of increased participation and we have a lot of things on the docket. So we're really excited just for the momentum that's kind of been going on here in the state of Mississippi. So first, this is the slide deck I was sent, so we're just going to kind of run through it. We updated it, obviously tailored to Mississippi updates. So we have a lot of committees through SACAC, of course, and so we're going to kind of run through each committee so that everybody is aware of what is going on and the opportunities to get involved and participate in different things. And then we have specific state updates. And then if you guys are interested in breakout sessions or discussion, or we can stay here as a group as well, just to have some good conversations there. So I'm gonna let you guys kind of decide on that as we go throughout. So in case you don't know, my name is Nerren. I serve as one of the regional assistant directors at Mississippi State in undergraduate recruitment. I've been participating in SACAC for a while now. Allison North is on this call, and she's one of the ones that kind of, brought me into SACAC and educated me a lot on that and the opportunities there. So pleasure to be serving this year as the state and area initiative for the state of Mississippi. So it's all new. If you are joining us and you don't know what SACAC is, you can see exactly what we look to do through this organization. And basically, the ultimate goal is to help all students realize their post-secondary educational goals. And that's through various different forms and outlets. And we are a regional affiliate of NACAC. And so we have some fantastic connections and opportunities. And through SACAC, I think we can learn, and we have learned, at least for the state of Mississippi, a lot of things from our partners at other states, which has been super great. And we hope to continue to do that as we build participation and attendance of things of individuals here in the state of Mississippi. So we have, again, various different committees. So if you're ever interested in getting involved, I encourage you to look through some of these. And as you hear updates, if there's something that specifically sparks your interest, definitely reach out to those individuals and find opportunities to get involved and to participate on various levels. So as we kind of run through, not every committee is going to be represented. I didn't hear back from some, or some were busy and have prior commitments. So we do have some good individuals that are going to be joining us, and I'm going to let them speak on behalf of their committee whenever the time comes. And so first up, we have Dr. Julia Hodge with the Advancement Committee. And she might be here. And she may not be here. Who knows? So what they did provide me with some different updates, so I can definitely share those with you guys. They are beginning to secure some sponsors for the SACAC annual conference, which is going to be held in Atlanta this year from March 30th and the 31st. The theme of this year's annual conference is going to be embracing the moment to inspire, inform, impact, and she just told me to let you guys know that they definitely couldn't provide the quality of programming that SACAC is known for without the support of partners. And so just wanted me to share the sponsorship levels with you guys and what that looks like through the Advancement Committee. And we encourage all potential sponsors to check out the sponsorship levels through the document, and exhibitor registration will open in December. So that's kind of where we're at on that. Next, we have the Communications Committee. And so I'm going to let them take over if they are here as well. Okay. Don't think Celeste is joining us. So we will work with her to see if we can send out some updates in terms of the communications committee later on. Next, we do have the governance and nominating committee. And so Zaire, I'm gonna let you kind of take over if you're on here as well to join us.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Fine. Okay,
Yes.
great. There's some good leaf blowing going on behind me, and so I can hear it really loud. And if you can't, I apologize. But anyway, so good morning. Thank you all for being here today, and thank you, Grant, for saying yes to serving state and area initiatives in the state of Mississippi. So my portion today is to talk to you guys about governance and the governance and nominating committee. And this year, I have the honor of serving as chair. And essentially, what I'd like to share with you guys is if you are a member of SACAC, which I'm thinking you are because you're here in the meeting today, but that you may have seen a first email that went out encouraging nominations for not only board positions that are going to be available, but also the president-elect position that is up for nominations, in addition to annual SACAC awards. And so some of you may be thinking, if you've been a part of the organization for some time and maybe you're new, there are certainly opportunities for you to be engaged in this process. So whether you are nominating someone or self-nominating for any of those opportunities, certainly it is open and strongly encouraged. The deadline for any board nomination and SACAC awards will be January 21st, 2025. And so you'll see a few more emails encouraging you to share with friends and peers to submit nominations. So we're excited to build the slate for the next group of SACAC leaders. So thank you all for being here today.
Appreciate you. A lot of good things going on. So definitely connect if you guys are interested. Next, we have the Government Relations Committee, which for the state of Mississippi, we have individuals from the SACAC level and then also the Mississippi level. So I'm going to give it over to them. Okay, they may not be on here either. I will say they did provide with some updates. Biggest thing is legislative days. So what these are just organized programming where with each state where members meet directly with the legislators while they're in session, and they work to receive updates on new legislation and then advocate on behalf of students and the profession of school counseling. And so I know specifically for the state of Mississippi, we have been working really closely with Jacob and Brooks on their advocacy day that's going to be taking place in January, and we can talk a little bit more about that later. But this is important work as we work to strive to be a little bit progressive and take the profession and move it forward. And so we have a lot of hands on deck, especially for the state of Mississippi. We've learned that we work better in larger groups, and so we've partnered with Magnolia State Counseling Association, Government Relations, and our friends over at the Drive-In Workshop, and also Get to College Center in Jackson. So we have a lot of good things going on, at least for the state of Mississippi, and what that looks like, and we can give more details a little bit later on as we go throughout. Next, we have the Finance Committee, and so I'm going to hand it over to Justine to provide us with some updates there.
Hi, everyone. I'm Julie Maloney. I'm the treasurer of SACAC and representing the Finance Committee today on behalf of Justine and Iris. It's wonderful to be with you all. So a couple of quick things from the world of the Finance Committee is just a reminder about the Council Participation Fund. So this is basically funding that SACAC allocates to attend professional development opportunities. And it's broken up into 2 rounds of applications. Right now, we are seeking applications for the annual conference. So if you would like to attend the annual conference, but need a little bit of assistance or all full assistance to be able to afford attending the conference, please, please, please apply. The deadline to apply is December 3rd. That's just after the Thanksgiving holiday. So I just kind of want to put that on everyone's radar. We welcome anyone who needs any type of funding to be able to apply and attend the conference. And then there's a second round of applications that usually open like mid-January and then close mid-March. And that is to attend the Sweet Tea Tour, Summer Seminar, and Dry Run. So the Sweet Tea Tour is going to be in Florida this year, and that takes place over June. And then Summer Seminar and Dry Run are also professional development opportunities. Summer Seminar being focused on providing training to counselors and maybe their first, second, or third years in the field, and then Dry Run for college admissions advisors. I'm going to drop the links in the chat for these, so that way you can find the information online and then hopefully apply. And then lastly, Extending the Dream is essentially the opportunity to seek funding to enact initiatives in your local area that would be important to you. So SACAC has funding set aside for these, such as if you would like to get your students to a local college fair, perhaps, or if you would, and you need a bus to do that, right? So you can seek funding from SACAC to be able to do those. So those are kind of just the two that Finance Committee oversees. And yes, thank you so much, Grant, for coordinating this presentation and for presenting the slides here. And any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to either me or Finance Committee, finance@sacac.org or treasurer@sacac.org regarding these opportunities. And we hope to see you all apply and seek the resources and funding that SACAC provides.
Thanks, Julie. Appreciate you. Next, we have the Inclusion, Access, and Success Committee, and I believe Juan is going to be taking that over for us.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Juan Acosta from the Paideia School in Atlanta, and along with Lucy Smith from Charlotte Latin, we oversee inclusion, access, and success. And just a couple of things that are happening within our committee. As in the past, we host virtual college admission workshops throughout the year. These will come back in full force in the spring semester. So if anyone is passionate about any particular topic that you would like to present, please feel free to reach out to one of us. Additionally, each state hosts an in-person college admission workshop. And I am happy to say that in the state of Mississippi, Jana Williams is our coordinator. And so I will link her email in the chat, so if anyone is interested in volunteering or helping her with her efforts. I'm not sure if we have a date yet, but you could always reach out to her for information on that program. Additionally, the IAS committee is in charge over the discussion and book club series. And so what we do is we do a discussion club over multimedia topics. We could be discussing a podcast. We could be discussing a TV show. We're also looking at books. Some of the topics we're hoping to explore this year are socioeconomic status. We're looking at Black, Indigenous, and people of color, mental health, gender and identity and expression, neurodivergence, etc. So I'm going to link the form for you all to fill out. If you're interested in participating, please fill this out. And if y'all have any questions or would like to help in any other way, you could reach out to access@sacac.org, which I will also put in the chat. And thank you so much for including us.
Thanks, Juan. A lot of good information there. And now I'm going to hand it over to Member Relations with Dr. Brent.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Brent Shropshire. I'm a chair of Member Relations along with Crystal Livingston and Alex Gonzalez. Thank you for having us be a part of this meeting. I have some updates for you. So right now, membership stands at a total of 22,317 members. Our FAM members are 718 as of October 22nd, 24. For those of you who don't know what FAM is, that stands for Free Access Membership. And that is for members who are, that's for public school counselors or community-based organizations. We allow free access or free membership to those individuals. All they have to do is go on to our website and apply for membership, and there is a button that says free access membership. They can click on that and they become members for free. So if you know of any public school counselors in Mississippi or any community-based organization counselors, please encourage them to join SACAC via our FAM membership. So I want to talk about a couple of ways to engage with SACAC. One is through our special interest groups. We call them SIGs, and they're micro communities within SACAC that allow for opportunities to network and knowledge share among members with similar professional roles, interests, affinities, and issues. It's easy to get involved with special interest groups or SIGs. They meet annually at the annual conference, and then throughout the year, depending on the co-chairs of the particular SIG or what the membership wants, but they can meet throughout the year virtually. Usually that's done in May, December, and February. So definitely, if you're interested, get involved with one of our special interest groups. Let me talk about mentorship. We are excited that we have launched a couple of weeks ago. We launched our Mentor Hub. If you're new to the profession and want to get involved or want to connect with somebody who's been in the profession or has been in SACAC for a while, the Mentorship Hub is a way to get connected with someone and get connected with a mentor. But what the hub serves as is connects you with the mentor, learn about mentoring models, and have a virtual space for mentors and mentees to connect. We have put on here the dates of the virtual meetings where the Mentor Hub will be happening. We've got one December 4th, January 8th, February 5th, and March 5th. So if you have any questions for us, please don't hesitate to reach out to Member Relations, and we'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Dr. Brent. Some good opportunities there. Next, we're going to hand it off to Miss Allison North to give us some updates on professional development.
Great. Thank you, Grant. So good to see you and so good to see so many other Mississippi folks on this call. As he said, I am one of the co-chairs for professional development alongside Miss Maya Walker and the amazing Malika Lindsay, as some of you may know. So happy to serve you all and give you some updates about professional development. For some reason, the mentorship program is on our slide, but as Brent said, that is a part of MemRel. But one thing that we do have coming up right now is our SACAC leads. Right now, we are looking for faculty, participants, and a co-chair for that program. So if you are wanting to get connected, this is a great way to get started out in SACAC. If you are envisioning becoming a leader in SACAC, eventually want to participate in board service, this is a great way to learn more about SACAC and really start that leadership trajectory. So definitely encourage you to apply if you want to participate. And if you've been a participant before, we are looking for faculty members for this upcoming year. And then if you've been faculty or participant before, like I said, we're looking for that co-chair position. And Grant, I'll go to the next slide. Wonderful. So, and as Julie hit on with Summer Seminar and Dry Run, two great professional development programs that happen in the summer. So if you find yourself on the other side of the desk in like your first 2 years as a college counselor, or you see that happening for next year, do apply for Summer Seminar. We are going to be in the great state of Tennessee this year. We're super excited. It's going to be a co-hosting opportunity between Vanderbilt and Belmont. So I already know there's going to be some great programming for professionals on the college counseling side. So put that on your radar. And then of course, Dry Run. So if you are a newer professional on the college side, or you want to serve as faculty. We would love to have you. In 2025, it will take place at Rollins in Orlando, Florida. So a great location. Maybe you want to tack on a Disney trip after or before. But that's what I would do. But it's another great opportunity. It's where I really fell in love with this profession. It was the first really PD opportunity I took advantage of. So I can't stress both of these enough. Is really great ways to start finding your community in SACAC. And then of course we do have the Sweet Tea Tour. So if you are a college counselor this year, we're super excited. We are going to South Florida. We have not been to South Florida in quite some time. So our Sweet Tea Tour co-chairs are currently planning that route. So if you are a Mississippi counselor and you have not been able to check out some of those South Florida schools, definitely be on the lookout for when that opens. Also, annual conference is listed on here. I think Dr. Corey Bailey is on the call, so he might want to take it, but I cannot stress enough how amazing the annual conference is. So if you can, come to Atlanta this year and come see us and attend the annual conference. Thanks, Grant.
Thanks, Allison. Yeah, Corey Bailey, Dr. Bailey, if you're on here, do you mind chiming in and letting us know a little bit more about the annual conference? You may be like, absolutely not.
Do you have a slide in the deck on annual conference?
I do.
Okay, I can wait till then if you want me to. There it is.
There it is.
Okay, so yes, I'm Corey Bailey. I work also at Mississippi State, but I work in the College of Ag and Life Sciences as Director of Enrollment, Retention, and Outreach. But over the summer, I was selected as your next conference chair-elect. And so I have been eagerly shadowing Miss Anita Waugh over the last couple of months, just really trying to absorb everything. But we are super excited to host the annual conference this year in Atlanta. It's going to be March 30th and 31st in Atlanta, Georgia, at the Marriott Marquis. And it's a beautiful, huge hotel. And so I think you're going to really enjoy that. I will tell you, this is an unprecedented year because we had nearly 150 session proposals for this year's conference. I don't know. Again, I'm still absorbing a lot of information, so I don't know how many we normally have, but I've never heard them talk about 150 or even near that. So the competition for sessions is extremely stiff this year, but I want to use this as an opportunity to say if you submitted a proposal and it's not selected, there are other ways to get that content out. As we've already talked about some of the programs on this call today, you have Sweet Tea Tour, you have Summer Seminar, there are drive-in workshops. There's many ways that you could potentially try the presentation and see how it lands, improve it, and potentially resubmit a session proposal next year. We don't want to lose that content. We know that everybody has extremely beneficial information to the whole membership. So if it's not if it's almost like I'm a college admissions counselor right now. If it's a no right now, it doesn't mean no forever. But in my learning about the conference, I also want to share sort of the vision behind this theme. So it's inspire, inform, impact. And our president-elect each year gets to choose the theme and kind of choose the content around the conference, including the sessions. And so Miss Arlene Outerbridge from Florida is our president-elect this year. And her vision for this couldn't be more timely, honestly. She is in this place where she thinks, in our position, sometimes it can be easy to feel discouraged in the work that we're doing because there's so much going on around us. There's political climate unrest. There are different things that are out of our control at many given times. And it's hard to sort of feel like our cup is filled. But what we can do in our positions is truly embrace the moment and control the things that we have the power to control within our own little bubble. And so what she wants is for us to use the conference experience to embrace the moment. And from the moment that you arrive at the Atlanta Marriott Marquis, you feel inspired, you feel encouraged, you feel very much ready to absorb the information you're going to get from the conference and go out. And then the informed piece is just that, like you're going to get to go to sessions that continue on this momentum or this drive to embrace the moment. And then once you leave the conference, her hope and dream is that you've attended that conference feeling inspired, you've been informed, and now you're ready to go into your community, embrace the things that you can control and impact the students' lives that you're going to interact with. So again, I'm super excited about that theme. I think it's a holistic approach to what we're doing, and so I hope you will enjoy and join us for that. If financial restrictions are a burden or something that you feel will keep you from coming to the conference, I can't emphasize enough the Counselor Participation Fund that we've already briefly talked about on this call today. That deadline is December the 11th, and so, or excuse me, December the 3rd. And so that's coming up very quickly. So kind of like what we're telling our students about scholarship applications right now, go ahead and get it off of your plate. That is an opportunity for both high school counselors, college admissions reps. If you think that you would like to attend, go ahead and submit that. The sessions, they are currently reviewing those right now, and so they hope to have the answers out by hopefully mid-December as to which sessions have been approved. And also mid-December is probably when we're shooting to launch the registration for the conference. And so the normal rate for SACAC members would be $300 this year and $375 for non-members. But if you register from December through February 3rd, there's actually a $50 discount. So again, even more reason to get that registration in early and get your rooms booked as well. So that's all of the updates that I have on this year's conference right now. There will be more updates and information coming out as we get closer and closer. I know we've got some fun, exciting kind of surprises along the way that I can't wait to reveal it one day, but it's not going to be today. And then I will say this, though. If you're a planner, you'll love that we have already identified the 2026 conference. So if you want to mark your calendars, save the date, do whatever you need to do, but it will be our 60th anniversary. It will be the first official conference that I am conference chair for, and that is going to be March 22nd through the 23rd in New Orleans. So we're very excited about that. So any questions that you may have, you could always reach us at the annual conference email, and either myself or Miss Anita will be in touch with you.
Thanks, Corey. Nice cliffhanger there on the surprises to come. And with you being conference chair in New Orleans in the 60th, I'm sure it'll be great. Thank you for your service and all that you do. What we're going to do now is we're going to move on to some of our state updates, just to kind of let you guys know. And I think Madison is on here along with Jacob Nelson. So the two biggest updates here in the state of Mississippi are with our drive-in workshop and with our government relations committee with Advocacy Day. So Madison, if you're available, if you don't mind just giving us some updates as far as drive-in workshop goes so that everybody knows. And then Jacob, I may let you take it and talk about the government relations side of it.
Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Madison Krim, and I have the privilege of serving as one of the drive-in workshop chairs for the state of Mississippi this year. We're really excited about the drive-in workshop because we have partnered with our government relations side as well as our Magnolia State Counselor Association, so that we're kind of doing a two-part. We'll have drive-in workshop in the morning, and then we'll be able to take the counselors that participate in that to the government relations day on the Hill. So all of that will be taking place on January 23rd. We'll get started at, or I guess in the morning. We're still hashing out final details, but we'll get started at the Get to College Center in Jackson. So it'll be really exciting to be in our state's capital. And then, yeah, we're excited about this programming. We had a great conversation yesterday to kind of get some of the details organized, but we should have that registration being sent out once we get everything submitted.
Thanks, Madison. And Jacob, are you available?
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're also really excited with the government relations side of things, to be partnering with all these great other organizations because, like you said earlier, Grant, we work better in a as a big organization. And so essentially, as our current plan stands, is they would then leave the Get to College Center, make their way to the Hill, where Brooks and I will be in waiting, hopefully working on getting a legislation session called with the Education Committee, and having lunch with them and just having in-depth discussions about what SACAC needs and how we can best represent our not only ourselves but also our counselors within our local schools, and also building those relationships and opening doors and pathways for them to be able to communicate with their representatives. And then also we do already have a designated spot within the rotunda sectioned off for us to actually be lobbying for our needs to all the other members of the State House and Senate as they are in session. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're excited.
Thanks, Jacob.
No problem.
As they both said, it's been really great to like witness and watch them as they've been forming this event and collaborating with Get to College, and then also the partners of the Magnolia State Counseling Association. When I first started in government relations, it seemed like we were trying to do so many different things throughout the state that doesn't have a lot of participation or attendance, and that's why we're hoping to combine these efforts so that you all as members can join us to like solidify those efforts, and we're all standing for the same thing. So it's been really great to see that kind of build over the past few years and the partnerships that have evolved from it. And we are now, progressing to even calling a session with the Education Committee, which is great. So we do drive-in workshops going to be great. I know Madison and Andrew have some fantastic things in store for us. And then also with Brooks and Jacob in working with the Education Committee. So now we have, there's a few people on here. And so instead of, necessarily going through and breaking it up into breakout sessions, I figured it might just benefit us a little bit more if we want to just have this open forum and conversation all together. So yes, that might mean you share your camera. It might mean you take yourself off mute. Never know. So we can walk through some of these together. Again, we're all a part of this organization. And so just want to talk through some of the things that we have found beneficial and some of the challenges that we've had and what are some ways to help progress ourselves forward. So first, let's talk about the successes. Let's keep it positive. And then what's going well for you guys in your specific roles this year? And then maybe even what that biggest success moment might look like. And don't everyone go at once.
Okay, I'll volunteer since I was the other person to talk last. My biggest success this year was at Southern Miss, we actually adjusted our scholarship brackets this year. And I took charge of that as an admissions recruiter and readjusted to better reflect students throughout the state of Mississippi to the best of our ability. And that was really cool to start that process and work it all the way through. And now it's in every single high school and every hand of every student that we talk to. That was really cool for me to do this year. I've really enjoyed that.
Thanks, Jacob. Anyone else? No successes. Wow. Okay, big down here. Well, if nobody's going to talk to that, then we can definitely talk about the challenges. So maybe what hasn't gone well and what that biggest challenge might have been. Or if you want to opt in now and talk about the success and keep it positive, that's fine too. Anybody? All right. Well, I'm not going to sit here and pull teeth. And then what about support? what do you think our professional organizations that you've heard from today could do to help with us as we look forward, as we try to move forward and trying to best support each one of you? So again, the purpose of SACAC is to be a professional organization to collaborate with your colleagues and your coworkers that are within the profession to help progress that forward and help students with that post-secondary, post-educational success. And so what are some things that maybe we can do specifically here as an organization from representing the state of Mississippi to help kind of carry that forward? Any thoughts?
Grant, I'm gonna help you out here.
Thank you, Shannon. I feel like I'm in
No.
2020 again.
I know, right? Anybody? I would particularly like to hear from, and they may not unmute now, from high school counselors. I think that SACAC, we know where it supports us as professionals on the other side of the desk, but I do think that we are growing our high school counselor participation. I see several of them on here today. They, of course, may be in school and putting out fires. But I would like to know how we can support them more and how they can be a part of more of the SACAC initiatives, because we're growing small. I remember back when I first started in SACAC, there was only let's be honest, the private school counselors, right? But with this free membership for high school counselors, but just really want to know where it's benefiting them, if at all, that they see, or how we can reach out more to that group. I see a few of them on here, but they may not want to speak.
May I jump in?
Yeah.
Okay, again, I'm Brent Shropshire, and I'm located in Georgia. And so something I did a couple of years ago at the SACAC conference for our state meeting was I issued a challenge to all of our independent private school counselors in the room that day, and said, seek out a public school counselor to partner with, to communicate with, to kind of mentor through SACAC, and tell them about SACAC, tell them about the the benefits of being a part of SACAC, and also tell them about the free access membership to try to initially get them engaged. So that's something that I issued to the Georgia independent and private counselors, and I think many of them did reach out to public school counselors that they knew of, or even in their area, even in the area where their school is located, just to know that we are here for them. This is an organization that is for them, not just for colleges and independent schools or private schools. So that's what I did.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll jump in as a high school counselor representative in a public school system. I'm not only a high school counselor, I am a CTE high school counselor. So I work in Tishomingo County at our Career and Technical Center. We have 13 different programs. Some of our programs represent students who are going to go into the workforce. Some are going to go into workforce development. Some are going to go to two-year colleges, and our community college does a beautiful job of keeping us informed of what's going on in our area. But as a counselor, I feel like an area that I need to grow in for my students is networking and knowing more about the students who are going straight to a university. And so that was the reason that I took advantage of SACAC's free membership this year and just kind of jumped on. So I'm brand new, and I'm just kind of learning what it's all about and trying to put some faces and names together. But I do think that the free membership is a draw for high school counselors. I was sitting here thinking about the other organizations that I'm a member of, and it's $100 here and $200 there, and so it gets a little bit expensive for a public school counselor to be a member of all these things. So I think that the free membership is wonderful. I think the networking opportunities are wonderful. And so I'm just kind of looking forward to learning more and getting more contacts for the students that we have who are going through some of these programs who are going to go straight to university.
Ms. Smothers, I would encourage you. I know it's hard to get away from school sometimes, but the counselor participation fund grant that
Yes.
can help fund you to go to the conference, because that would be, they have a college fair there at the conference where you can connect with colleges, universities from all 9 states that are represented for SACAC, maybe some colleges that you've never had contacts with, right outside of Mississippi, and the conference. Although I know it's hard to get away and sometimes costs money to get away, if you could get that counselor participation fund money to get there. I know we had a couple of counselors from Mississippi there a year or 2 ago. So it's definitely great for networking.
Good morning. Can everyone hear me?
We can.
Awesome. And I apologize, I don't have video at this time, but my name is Monique Tubbs, and I actually serve on the board under state and area initiatives, and I have thoroughly enjoyed this meeting. I just wanted to come and give some, honestly, just support to what Shannon said. So first, thank you for the question. And to Shanta, I have actually transitioned from being at a public high school, but I work in a district where I support public high school counselors. So I ditto CPF, the Council Participation Fund, extending the DREAM grant to support the work that you're doing in your schools. But I also want to just say we have resources as well to help support you attending the conference as public school counselors that can be found on our website for you to share with your principals, because I know sometimes they just don't want to let you guys go. But as Shannon alluded, it is important for you to be in the place and space for you to network. And in order for you to really be able to brag about the great things that SACAC has to offer, you have to be there at the conference and networking. And it is an awesome opportunity for you to connect with our colleagues on the other side of the desk. So Shanta, I hope that you and all the other public school counselors are going to apply before December 3rd deadline for CPF to attend if you haven't already. And I'm super excited. I do think from your standpoint of kind of asking as an organization, I think maybe we could do a better job of being more intentional with collaborating with SCAs or school counselors associations, so they understand and know that we work collaboratively and versus being in competition. So for example, I know we have a national connection with ASCA, but maybe the state organizations like Georgia School Counselors Association, Florida School Counselors Association for your states, just to ensure we're aligned and know that we can support one another in the work that we're doing and under the school counseling domains of college and career, social emotional learning, and academics.
Yes, and to Monique's point, Shanda, that's where we have seen a lot of growth, and we're really excited about partnering with the Magnolia State Counseling Association and trying to, again, we're all in the same corner, right? And all in the same court. So we're headed toward the same goal. And so working and collaborating together, even bringing in Madison and the drive-in workshop opportunities, they're working with Magnolia State to incentivize you all to be able to request that you are able to attend drive-in workshop. And we collaborate with government relations to Advocacy Day being on that same day so that it draws attention, because we know you'd otherwise have to take a personal day versus going down and being approved for professional development. So we're trying to do all of these things to, again, collaborate our efforts and network and all of those types of things. So we encourage you. The conference is phenomenal. It's how I first got plugged in. But then also, if you're able to check out the drive-in workshop, you can get a 2-for-1 and meet other individuals throughout the state on both sides of the desk, which is really great.
Shanta, this is Zaire again. I just wanted to ask from the public school perspective, have you experienced anything that's been beneficial that's virtual? I know, and I would advocate, obviously, if public school counselors could get to the annual conference, obviously by way of CPF or any other additional support, that would be ideal. But I also want to be realistic. And so just curious if there have been any productive virtual spaces and something that SACAC could think about creating. If you can't get out of the building and you can't make it to the conference, how do we engage and make sure that your network is still growing and developing and serving your needs? And anybody else. So I'm just picking on you, Shanta, because you unmuted and you showed your took your went off mute. Anyway, so just curious for anybody else if they had any positive experience in a virtual space.
Hi, my name is Mary Rush, and I'm the CTE counselor in Starkville. The virtual has been very beneficial for me. For example, today, this is great, being able to join in and get the resources that's available to counselors. As far as the high school counselor in my building, a lot of them don't know about this opportunity, and I try to share this information. So I think getting the word out just a little bit more so they know that it doesn't cost them anything, but it's a great support system to get this information.
Thank you.
And I would agree with Mary. The virtual stuff is good and it's easy to hop on and participate. My director is very supportive of any kind of professional development that we want to do. And even taking professional development days where we get to travel, we do have to be mindful, of the time that we are at school. And so we kind of have to pick and choose what we think is going to benefit our students the most. But I've taken advantage of several of the virtual options. The other day I signed up to do Mentor Hub. I was really excited about that. And then something came up and I didn't get to hop on, but I actually did reach out in the follow-up form. So I thought that was very helpful to have kind of that Google Doc where we could get on there and just kind of explain what we were looking for. And so I thought that was very helpful as well.
Grant, I'm gonna launch a grenade because when you're out of the board space and you can think a little bit, I'm just gonna throw this out there. But in the way that was presented with special interest groups and state and area initiatives and the work that's happening here in today's state meeting certainly is an example of that. But I remember there was a time, and maybe this was right out of COVID, that some special interest groups were looking to meet monthly, which is really ambitious. And again, this is my grenade that I'm launching. To engage with folks, right? To your point, Shanta, you mentioned like you signed up for something, you couldn't make it. I think that that's all of our narratives. Most of the time we're well intended and signed up because we want to be there, and oftentimes something else comes up so we can't. But I'm curious if there were enough people who were interested, right? And it doesn't need to necessarily fall on you, Grant, as the person, state and area initiative chair for Mississippi. But if there are other folks in this space, kind of unofficial leadership opportunities to just facilitate conversation, right? So if there was like a monthly Zoom for folks from Mississippi to gather and then maybe pick a topic that might be helpful or meeting the need for the time of year, that way, married to your point, those in your building that may not know about this could be an opportunity for them to pop on, or anybody else across the state. And I say this kind of generally, we're obviously talking to those of you in the great state of Mississippi, but just generally speaking, is there a way to kind of stay engaged on a regular basis for folks? And because virtual tends to be free, although time is money and it is priceless. And so we want to make sure that we're making the best use of it, but just thinking about if folks had time and folks were willing, could you have volunteers like sign up to host like a month check-in?
And I think too, as this, like taking on this new role, that's one of the things that I talk about. All of these kind of play into each other, like the success, the challenge, and then the support of like the success is that we've seen some growth here in the state, and we've seen more counselors come on and participate and attend things and those types of things. The challenge is still, how do we get the word out there? How do we connect with all of these other counselors to let them know? And that's one of the things, Shannon, I was going to see potentially with you, like with this idea of maybe hosting a monthly session to connect and collaborate as members of this organization. Is there a way we could utilize our resources at Get to College to put the word out there and educate the counselors on this opportunity and what that kind of looks like? So
absolutely.
I think
we send out in our counselor newsletter, we send out about any opportunities. We send out the Counselor Participation Fund, Extending the Dream, all of those things. Ms. Smothers, you may have seen those, Ms. Rush. We try to get the word out. I do have an opportunity where we could talk again in a virtual space, but we have restarted since COVID what we call counselor coffee chats. And I am always looking for a speaker or a topic for that. That could be one of our counselor coffee chats, Grant, where we bring them in. But also, we're always more than willing to offer a space at any of our 3 centers for a in-person meeting. So if that's something you want as a state and area initiatives, I mean, we could even have one in the north part of the state, Jackson and South Mississippi, if you wanted to do 3 different kind of listening tours with some kind of SACAC feature.
Absolutely. I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
So we'll figure that part out. And I think too, even to those of you guys, so to Shanda's point of like trying to figure out those students that are navigating the process of going to 4-year institutions. And I know my colleague like Jacob at Southern Miss and Lauren Allen's on here from Ole Miss, and I'll speak on behalf of Mississippi State. We would even love to be a part of those conversations of like a monthly meeting of talking with the network of counselors that choose to attend and participate. And we can feature our specific institutions, the scholarship opportunities, the admissions process, that type of thing, to help educate counselors within that virtual space and take up some of that programming.
Yeah, and if you did it regionally, like at our 3 centers, you could have the colleges, from, I guess you would only choose SACAC members, I suppose, to feature your schools, but you could do it regionally like that. So yeah, we can talk offline about something like that. Absolutely.
Okay. Because I think we as a state, I want to do a better job. And that's one of my, and I'm glad we brought up this idea of like hosting a monthly meeting. It allows for more, interconnectedness. So if like you can't make the state meeting, it's not your one-stop shop. You have other opportunities to connect and network. So we're going to look into that, and maybe I'm going to be ambitious. Maybe we can start come January of like a monthly meeting that we can look to host to where people can hop on. But the biggest part of that is getting the participation and the interaction of the counselors. So sending out that free access membership to your colleagues and spreading that network and what that looks like is kind of the biggest thing. And I think from our perspective on the admissions and undergraduate recruitment side of things, we can work with our counselors to also promote, to say, hey, this is going to be professional development that you can hop on in your office. So we encourage you to try to join and see what that looks like. Zaire, thank you for the grenade. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
I think you could have testimonials from high school counselors who've been members, even if they've only been members for a short time, talking about what has been helpful for them. Like I said, I do know people who've been to the conference that could talk about those kinds of things. So, yeah.
Absolutely. More to come. I might be regretting it come Jane. No, I'm just kidding. It'll be great. Well, as we've talked about, this is, I encourage you guys just to promote this. If you found this meeting helpful and this opportunity great, we just, again, encourage you to spread the word to your colleagues that work within the field and the profession, because we want to make sure that we are, we're still looking to grow. We've got some momentum, but we want to continue that snowball effect and get more participation and attendance throughout the state of Mississippi. So any ideas are always welcomed. So you can reach out to me with that or what that looks like. I'm happy to have conversations, and always start with yes. I learned that from my leadership, and then we can kind of work backwards and figure it out from the back end. But I think that's it. I think Kristen, I believe you said you wanted to say something at the end, so I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, and then I will let you take over if you're available.
Hey everyone, my name is Kristen Bird, and I serve with Monique on the SAI committee of the board. And then we also have Darren Morgan, who is based out of Arkansas. And just want to quickly say thank you for taking the time to join this meeting today. As Grant said, we are definitely focused on growing membership in the state of Mississippi. So we appreciate you being here. We know that there are a ton of things going on in your world. And just want to quickly thank Grant for enthusiastically accepting the volunteer role when we reached out to him. We think that his leadership will be great in Mississippi, and he truly has done a ton of work behind the scenes to make sure that SACAC is well represented in the state. So we appreciate him, appreciate all the work that he's done to make this happen, and just enjoy the conversation. Not all states, especially in a virtual format, the conversation doesn't always go as great, and sometimes people don't speak up. So the conversation was great. I'm glad that you all were able to connect, and look forward to seeing what those meetings might look like in the future. So if you need anything, please reach out, but we just appreciate you all.
Awesome. Thank you, Kristen. Well, I think that's all we have. So if you guys need anything, feel free to reach out. Happy to help. And I appreciate all the work that you do. So hope everyone has a great day.